In today's video, we're going to be talking about a game called Mirandus. What is Mirandus? Why I'm excited about Mirandus, and why you too should also be very excited for Mirandus. Because who doesn't love the idea of being the main character inside of your favorite fantasy novel, or inside of your favorite anime? That just sounds sick. So if that's something that you're interested in, then keep watching. If not, then peace, I'll see you next time. But what's going on, guys? My name is Jake, and this is actually my very first video. I'm gonna make this channel all about Mirandus news. Anytime we hear anything from the Discord, I'll post it in here. Mirandus content, any of the playtest will be covered, and speculation, we'll talk about team comps, best buildings, etc. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please like and subscribe, because this is my very first video and that'll really help to boost the channel. So without further ado, let's get into the content. So what exactly is Mirandus? Well, Mirandus is a fantasy MMORPG that is enhanced by the blockchain. Essentially what that means is you own the items that you own. They are truly your items, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But let's actually touch on Mirandus first. Mirandus is a land where the characters known as exemplars have migrated in search of the arcane substance Materium. Think of Materium as magic, because that's exactly what it is. This Materium is going to be used in countless different ways in the land of Mirandus. It can be used to cast powerful spells, revive the dead, replace rare crafting materials, and so much more. So you can see how Materium is going to be a very sought after substance. The cool thing is, Materium is also the in-game currency as well as an ERC20 token, meaning that Materium is actually going to be a cryptocurrency. So the more Materium you have in-game, the more you'll be able to actually redeem for IRL money. And as Jake Broski always says, pay your rent with money that you earned inside the game. How do I get this Materium, you may ask? Well, by doing anything you could imagine yourself doing in a real-life simulated fantasy MMO. Meaning, you can own a business and sell weapons out of your shop, or armor out of your shop. You can be a bounty hunter, you can be an information broker, you can be a map maker, because there's no centralized in-game map. You can be a dungeon runner, and actually in an AMA several months ago, the CEO of the company had said something about putting thousands of dollars at the end of some of the dungeons or layers, so that when you fight your way through all these monsters to get down to the final chest and you open it up, there's literally thousands of dollars of real life money sitting in those chests waiting for whoever conquers the dungeon. Personally, I want to be a Mirandus millionaire. I want to be a boss killer. There will be some one-of-one bosses inside the game that once they're dead, they are never coming back. Those bosses will drop some one-of-one items, meaning, say you kill a boss and it drops a one-of-one skill. That means that is the only skill in the entire game, in the entire world of Mirandus, that will ever exist of that kind. Imagine how much that would go for. There was a set of 3 dragons that came out of mystery boxes that sold for, let's see, only 2 of them have sold out of the 3. One of them sold for 1.5 million and the other one sold for $4.9 million. And there were 3 of those. So just imagine a super crazy rare Gandalf fire skill or something crazy that would cost a lot of Materium to use, but would still be the only one in the entire game like it. That would be worth so much. But yeah, that's my attack on the game. That's what I'd really like to do. I'd also like to go into dungeons, run dungeons, get a team together, get a team of 5 or 10 people together. Just go attack some of those dungeons, get the thousands of dollars worth of Materium at the end. But that's enough about me. So on the flip side, you're going to have some people that will buy the weapons from you, because what's the point in going into dungeons and killing things and them dropping weapons to just hodl weapons? If you don't use the weapons, they're literally pointless. So what you can do is you can take them back to the nearest town. By the way, all towns in the game and all buildings in the game are player owned. Meaning, when you go into a shop and you sell your sword that you just found in that dungeon to a player, it's not an NPC that you're selling it to. You will be selling it to a real life player, and that player will pay you Materium or gold or silver The lead developers also mentioned that he wants the same thing to happen for some cosmetic, meaning there will be some 1-of-1 cosmetics inside the game, or 5 of 5, or only 50 to exist of this certain type of cosmetic. Meaning, if you go out and you kill the evil bearded queen, or something like that, and she drops this insanely cool looking beard, you might be one of the only players inside the game with that beard. So if you walk into town rocking this massive long beard, then everyone's going to be like, oh shoot, they killed the evil bearded queen, which will automatically be a status symbol of either how good you are at fighting or how wealthy you are inside the game. Man, I really hope McCarthy's watching this, because now I kind of want the evil bearded queen to be in the game. A part of Mirandus that I haven't covered so far that's actually super duper important at Mirandus is the avatars of the playable characters. So there will be free to play characters, but there will also be avatars with special abilities. These avatars are called exemplars. Ranked from lowest to highest in rarity, there are human, dwarf, orc, halfling, and elf exemplars. As the rarity goes up, the number that exists goes down, and currently there are around 52,000 exemplars if my math stands correct. Only 1,000 of those are elves, but just because an elf is rarer than a human, that doesn't mean it has boosted stats in every single category. Your human alchemist will be much better at making potions than my elf, who has a bonus to, say, spellcasting speed. Every exemplar will be the best in a certain category. With that being said, you'll have exemplars that'll benefit both sides of the equation. You'll have exemplars that are good at economy-driven goals, such as cutting wood, mining rock, mining stone, mining gems. There's bonuses in all sorts of different categories, as opposed to exemplars who benefit fighting or battles. You have exemplars that cost less energy to cast spells, or bonus to range weapon, or cast spells faster. And both of them are going to be needed in this living, breathing economy. Even though the game isn't out yet, if you own an exemplar, you can actually participate in the Mirandus playtests. For the last playtest, they even gave out Materium to all the exemplars who joined the game. Now, if I remember right, and don't hold me to this, but the lead developer, Michael McCarthy, said they were going to give out Materium for all of the following playtests as well. For this last playtest, I had an Orc of the Long Hunt, which can go longer without food or sleep than any other character in the game. Kinda cool. I was given 400 Materium, which at the current price of Materium is around $300 to $400. So I earned about what I paid for the Orc back just from that playtest. So I am so ready for this next playtest, because I was fortunate enough to get an Everflow Elf. Elves, like I said, are the highest rarity, and they give out 4,000 Materium during the last playtest. So I'm really hoping that that stands true for the next playtest and the following couple playtests. I think that there's planned 2 or 3 more playtests before the game is permanently playable. It's been said that they're shooting for around December of 2022 to January 2023 for the permanently playable version to be released. Now, I'm not going to say full release, because they're strategically releasing only parts of the game at a time to ensure that not only everything runs smoothly, but that we enjoy the content that's being dropped. They'll also be able to add on little bits and pieces without letting people know where stuff is. That's going to be the cool part of exploring, is we won't know what's out there until we find it. Since there's no centralized in-game map, when you stumble across something new, it could very well be new. It could be that no one's found that before, and there's not going to be a whole lot of YouTube videos out there, people talking about it, because if it's new and it has a lot of resources, then why would people talk about it? Everything's going to be on the hush-hush, so it'll be really interesting to see how things unfurl. Especially since there's going to be true economic incentive to keep things quiet. Now, before I get to the end of the video, I want to backtrack on something I mentioned earlier. So earlier I said, you truly own the items that you own inside the game. What that means is a lot of the items in-game are going to be something called NFTs. And when there's NFTs, there's true ownership, meaning I will be able to put an item into the game and then take an item out of the game if I wanted to. I could put it on a third-party market and not be penalized. It's completely legal to do. In games like RuneScape or WoW, that is very frowned upon and very illegal. You can lose your account. But in Mirandus, finding a super cool, amazing sword and then taking that out onto OpenSea to sell it, that's totally fine. That's part of the game. Being able to buy, say, cords of wood on OpenSea, that's a completely normal thing. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with it, OpenSea is like the main NFT marketplace. Think of it like the eBay for NFTs. That's how I always talk about it. With NFTs comes true ownership, because you can do what you want with the items. In this video, we really only scratched the surface of the possibilities of Mirandus. We can sit here and talk for hours, but that's what this whole channel is about. We're going to be talking about Mirandus 24/7. So again, if you haven't, please like the video. It'll really help to boost the channel, and subscribe if you want some more Mirandus content in the future. But for now, I'm signing out. Peace, guys.